Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Darkspore. Darkspore is a game by Maxis. It uses some of the elements of Spore, and I'm now going to be controversial and make some people hate me, because, you know, opinions are extremely offensive like that. Spore was rubbish. However, it seems to me that the amazing creation engine within Spore, the customization and how you can make pretty much anything could be well applied to another game, and it looks like Maxis believed the same thing. So what they've decided to do is to create a sort of action-ish RPG style thing called Darkspore. And the storyline behind this is that there's some guys called the Progenitors, and they were able to create some genetic heroes via peaks of genetic engineering. They were very, very happy about it. One of these Progenitors created something called eDNA, exponential DNA, and it said, oh, you know, that was going to save the universe and they would be able to create anything. Turns out it's unstable. It creates something called the Darkspore. The Darkspore kill the Progenitors. The remaining Progenitors get put onto ships and fired away into sort of cryostasis until the AI network can figure out how to stabilize eDNA and then bring the heroes back from the dead. That's the gist of it anyway. Sounds derivative, but whatever, we'll go with it. And there was a fairly lengthy introduction that you don't really need to see because it was just the storyline, so we're going to go into this right here. Bear in mind, this is the beta version, and as such is not necessarily representative of the final product. Okay, let's kick it off, shall we? Let's have a look and see what is available. Okay. Now, I believe
Blitz, a hero of type Plasma Genesis.
Aha.
His legendary electrical wrath earned him the title Storm Striker. Blitz is controlled remotely from the ship. Using the mouse, left-click to move the hero and attack enemies.
Okay, well, they were not kidding at all about this being an action RPG. Huh. This handles exactly like Diablo and Torchlight. And initially, I'm quite pleased. This is really slick. It feels really good. Kind of thing that I'd be a little bit worried about. The whole thing with console ports has really jaded me lately. But this controls really well with the mouse. Look at that. Lots of nice precision there. So you attack with the right mouse button, so that's the hold stuff down, and you get this combo called the Voltic Slash. It's got a cooldown right there, 2 meter range. 2 meter range, that's fairly impressive. Quite the reach on that guy. Slashes at nearby enemy, 4 to 12 physical damage. What the hell is that? I do not know, but we can go on with it anyway. Right, okay, let's go. Where are the enemies? Where's the loot? More to the point. This better not have no loot. I will not be happy. But yeah, as you can see, this is a sort of virtual reality construct. Oh, messy. And it's even got damage numbers and everything. Okay. It's kind of weird that Maxis would make a Diablo-style game. I mean, that's really odd. Bear in mind, these are the guys behind The Sims, SimCity, and of course Spore, things like that. And then they make Diablo? Really? Okay. I have no problem with that. Try something different. There's nothing wrong with it. Ooh, stuff.
This first ability
Oh, look at that.
to where the cursor is located, both damaging and stunning the enemy. Press 1 to activate this ability.
Right, the lightning indeed. Right, okay. Ooh, there we go. So it's sort of dash. Sweet. Okay. And there's an energy bar above that, so that's basically your mana there. Smack them about a bit. Cool. Feeling good thus far. Very, very tight in terms of the way that it actually controls. This is a good thing. Onward.
Each hero has a passive ability that is always active. Blitz's passive, Deadly Precision, increases the chance for critical strikes.
Okay, then. There we go. The blood's a little bit weird. It's like kind of like confetti raining all over the place.
The
Oh, well.
green bar is Blitz's health. If it falls to 0, Blitz will perish. Green capsules will restore health. The blue bar is Blitz's power. Power is used to activate abilities.
Okay, makes sense. This is immediately familiar to anyone that's played a Diablo clone of any description. There we go. I have reached progenitor level 2. I don't know what that means, but hey, experience.
Obelisks are progenitor archives. Items found within allow for the creation of gear on board your ship.
Sweet. Let's have a look. Okay, it's a thing. A red sun spike.
Item acquired. This may be used in the editor to upgrade your heroes.
Right. Okay, so I assume I can't do that yet. Fair enough. Well, let's continue through this tutorial area. See exactly where we go from here.
Enemies of the same type as the hero will deal twice as much damage. Switching to a hero of different type will neutralize the enemy advantage. Unlocking Sage. Sage is a hero of type Biogenesis. His passive ability will spawn 2 green dendrons to fight for him.
Okay.
His first ability will restore health to nearby allies.
Right, so that's smashy smashy. Rejuvenating Blast. It heals my guys and it hurts the enemy. Sweet, so you can switch between them fairly easily. So you can see down the bottom there, Q and W will switch between the 2 types of hero. One assumes that you have more options. There we go, take those down. I've got no complaints so far, really. I mean, the game is doing what I would hope it would do if it was an action RPG. Admittedly, I don't really need to switch to kill that. It's easy enough nonetheless. Collect those orbs, there we go.
Heroes have separate health and power. Picking up green and blue capsules will regenerate the health and power of both heroes.
Okay.
Teleporters left by the progenitors provide access to remote areas of the planet. They are deactivated in the presence of Darkspore.
Fair point. Right, so in other words, kill all the dudes to open the portals.
Is not ready.
Makes sense. Shouldn't really concern anyone. Again, there's nothing here that is going to be alien to people. Yes, I know, that's a fairly ironic thing to say. Sup, bro? Nothing here that's going to be alien to people. Entirely normal. But it feels like you would expect. It's immediately familiar. You know, I feel a bit bad about using the term clone these days because apparently after the Rift review it makes people very upset. But then I turn around and say, oh, they're just a bunch of whiners. It is, for all intents and purposes, a Diablo clone. What's wrong with that? Diablo is a great game. Why not clone it? I say the combat and the movement and the way that things work is based around Diablo and Titan Quest and Torchlight, and everything's based on those games. Again, nothing wrong with that. But, of course, you've got the different element of the fact that there's an editor that allows you to customize, and also the fact that you switch between hero types, which is not something that you did otherwise. Switch back to this guy. There we go. Well, what does that do, anyway? Tree of Life. Places a tree that heals allies. Right, makes sense. Splat, splat, splat. Now, it doesn't look like you have a huge amount of abilities available. I mean, I'm looking at the size of the slot here. It looks like there's probably space for 5. That might be a little bit limiting. Don't know, though.
Simulation complete.
Sweet. Well, I'll have this before we do anything. Appears to be some kind of chest, by the looks of it. Filled with stuff. Alright. Out we go, then. Now, this is actually a beta, and they are really treating it like one. Oh, look at this.
Squad management and housing for
good.
Heroes. Choose a hero to activate, and add that hero to your squad.
I'm glad that they're treating this as an actual beta as opposed to a marketing exercise. That's good. Right, activate another hero, select an available hero in the row, and view their profile to see their abilities. That's a lot of dudes, is it not? Okay. So, if we have a look at profile, what does this guy do? He is a sentinel. What has he got? I have no idea. Seem to actually tell you anything about that. We're not really interested in the storyline of it, I don't think. Okay, well, I'll unlock that guy. He seems pretty good. Where's the activate? There it is, okay. Okay, he is online.
Genetic heroes will become available as your progenitor level increases. Once available, heroes may be activated and added to squads.
As you might have noticed, they're calling them crogenitors. I don't know why, but hey. Right, okay, so we can add it to the squad. Cool. Add hero. There we go. No problems whatsoever.
Editor online. Enter the editor to upgrade heroes with collected items.
Right then. Let's have a look and see what we have.
Middle deck. Editor. Upgrading heroes with collected items will increase their hero level and make their abilities more powerful.
Righto then. Now, I have to wonder how much customization is available in terms of what it looks like. I'm looking at detail right here, and I've unlocked precisely nothing, so it doesn't look like I can really change that all that much. Skin types I can change, though. And apparently we do that with spray paint. Okay, cool. I'm alright with that. Alright, let's have a look. What looks awesome? This might look awesome. Give him a bit of a spray down. There we go. Rotate him around a bit. They seem to have improved texture detail a little bit, or maybe they've just made it a little bit more realistic. I noticed that a lot of the things in Spore look like they were made out of Play-Doh. They had a very squishy, sort of nebulous look to it that lacked definition, whereas here, there is some actual texture work, although it does still look like they're made out of putty. Okay. I'm going to change the color around a bit then. Give it a little bit of purple. So that's a skin coat there. And if we have a look at detail, we can also muck about with this. Give it a little bit of yellow there. There we go. See, that looks much, much better. In my personal opinion. Right. So, I mean, there is some things you can do here. Again, maybe this is just in the beta, but there's only 2 pages of skin coats. Now, I would hope to be able to customize that in a greater way in terms of the actual game when it comes out. We'll see whether or not that's the case, but once again, beta is beta. Now, the only item that I got was this. So, Red Sun Spike of the Sentinel, plus 7 strength, plus 16 critical strike rating. That can go into an offensive slot. So, where can I put it? Wherever I damn well please. Cool. Now, that is neat. I like that. That is a very good use of it. I mean, I could do anything with this thing. I could put it on my knees if I so desire. Do I want to put it on my knees? I could make them giant spiky nipples if I so desire. Or I could use them as ears or just one horn. This is... anyone who's played Spore will know exactly how this works. I can make it look like a little gremlin if I want. Okay. Well, I'm not going to do that just yet. I need to sort of rotate it around so I get the optimum look at it. Now, you can then twist them, of course, move them around just like you could in Spore. And now, he looks quite silly. Fantastic. One assumes that, yes, there was a DNA budget, there was a limit to what you can put on it, which is very similar to the way Spore actually worked. Right, sweet. Now, can I do something to make that look a little bit better? We'll find out. What does that look like? Oh, yeah! Look at that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's threatening. Those things even glow. Fantastic. And again, I have no access to detail as of yet. Again, it might not be the beta. We never know. Right, well, that is the item by the looks of it, so we can just accept that for the time being. See what else we're going to get out of that. Nice, spiky, threatening, evil chaos hero. Yes. Oh, I'm in a lobby, it would appear.
Main deck, navigation. From this space, the Darkspore threat is analyzed, and attacks may be plotted based on difficulty.
Okay, that really is all there is to it. It is just an action RPG with customizability. I'm alright with that. Right, I see. And there are even 3 different difficulty levels, Diablo style as well. Okay, I'm alright with that. Okay, let's have a look at the campaign then, shall we? Now, I believe, yes, you can invite people in. You'll get an XP bonus for doing so. I have no friends. Sad face. What are the size of the parties? You can probably go up to 4, I would think, but right now I'm only seeing 2 and 3 on there. Let's skip through. Let's see how many we can find. 4. Yeah, it looks like 4 players is the max. That makes sense. Well, I'll do it solo for the time being, then we'll see if we can actually get in with anybody. Let's go with this first one. How many levels are there exactly? Bear in mind, again, this is the beta, so we don't know just how complete this actually is. Beta's only open for a couple of days, so I don't expect people to really get all the way through here, but looks like there's quite a lot of levels available. Yeah, 6 chapters, well, 4 levels on each, and those are the levels of the Darkspore as we go through. Annoyingly enough, the interface sucks. You have to skip all the way back. Yeah, don't do that. So, I don't know if Darkspore's actually coming out for consoles. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I would assume it probably is in some form. So, Maxis, you've been using PCs for a while, yeah? You're aware of what we can do. So, bearing in mind you also support this within the game, I have a scroll wheel. You hear this? You probably don't, because it's a nice quiet scroll wheel on a Razer Naga. Wow. Yes, it is a Razer Naga. I thought I said a Nazer Raga there. That would be rather odd. We can scroll. We don't have to do this clicking thing. You know, it doesn't have to all be in a line. It could actually be in a grid or a menu or something like that. So if we could get that resolved, that would be great. I mean, so far I'm seeing that it controls like a really tight PC game. And then you've got this, which makes me scratch my head just a little bit. Beta is beta. There's a chance to fix it. A little bit of feedback. Right, let's do a mission, shall we? Let's find out exactly what's happening, and then we might try out a little bit of matchmaking. Onward through space!
Initial destination.
A big dash! Jesus! Why is it so loud?
Perched on the edge of a black hole, these islands are all that remain
You can
of the
probably
planet
hear
Earth.
this through my
Known as
headphones.
Zealous Nexus,
God
this is
damn!
the home
Oh,
of
Jesus!
quantum genesis.
So,
It was here progenitor
I
Zealous made his
reduced
life's
the
work.
level of
Piecing
the
back together the
game sound down to about
fragments
10%.
of
Apparently the
Zealous
cutscenes
united
ignore
black
that, so I've just been deafened.
Zealous was assisted
Awesome.
only by machines
I didn't need those ears
and
anyway.
carefully selected genetic heroes. In this oasis of solitude, the Darkspore, long warned against, first appeared en masse, the progenitor's greatest fear. It went
No, it's
unnoticed
not
at the time, but the attack would later be called the Nexus Massacre. The fragmented islands in the Nexus are overrun with quantum genetic Darkspore. They specialize in teleportation and the manipulation of time and space.
Are you gonna shut up now?
Planet scan complete.
Thank you.
Darkspore identified.
Wonderful. Okay, then. Let's see what we have. So, these are the Darkspore that we're going to be going up against. So, one would imagine that these types... Ah, I see. Yes, there you go. Notice these two guys have the same type as this one, which means that this guy probably won't do so well, because they'll do double damage to him. But these two guys are okay. But right now, we don't have the ability to customize our squad any more than that, so it looks like we're going to deploy with these to begin with. I don't know if we deploy with all of them at once. One assumes not. One assumes we just switch between them, which, again, is not all that interesting in comparison to doing co-op. But, hey, we'll go with it for the time being, and then we'll see about a little bit of co-op after that. I'm really liking this so far. I've got to point this out. I'm very impressed. It is fairly generic.
The floating isles were once the foundation of the Singularity Array, where for centuries, progenitor Zelem collected specimens for quantum genesis experimentation. Zelem was the leader of opposition to experimentation with eDNA. He long forewarned that large-scale Darkspore outbreaks would put all galactic life in peril.
Indeed. Anyway, as I was saying, it's generic in terms of the fact that it is a hack-and-slash RPG. You know, it feels exactly like Diablo. But, as I've said in the past, cloning stuff is not a bad thing, especially when you bring something new to the table, in addition to the stuff that you've cloned. In this case, what it brings is a level of customization that you wouldn't otherwise get. And, as regards to a hack-and-slash, it feels very, very competent and very tight, which I'm extremely pleased with. I don't know if I should be blowing these up, but I'm going to anyway. Sounds like a plan. There we go. I like the fact that it also describes exactly what those guys will do as well, so you can have a think about what exactly you're doing. It does feel like a slightly more tactical than a sort of a very spammy kind of game like Diablo, but I don't know how much that's true. It's probably because it's on a fairly low level right now. Space Barracudas, yes, my worst nemesis. Yeah, go on, have it. You know you want to. So much blood! I don't wonder why the Darkspore bleed red. It does seem a little bit odd. They're aliens. Surely they should bleed blue or whatever. You know, if they bleeded blue, this thing probably wouldn't be banned in Germany. I can't remember exactly what the German laws are on that, but all I know is that I remember Carmageddon. All of the humans were replaced with zombies that bled green blood and things like that. Germany has some rather odd laws in regards to computer games. I don't know how much of that is still true. That was a long time ago, obviously. Right, a haster. Speeds up time for allies. That's not good. That could be a fairly unpleasant combination. Let's stab it in the face. Does the job. I think if you're not the kind of person that enjoys Diablo, then you're definitely not going to get much out of this, because it is so much like Diablo. If you are somebody who was looking for a Diablo clone, is maybe sick of Torchlight, and obviously Torchlight 2 isn't out yet, Diablo 3 should be out this year, we think, then this would certainly not be a bad game to look at. I like the fact that it's in space, and I'm just trying to think if there's been any good space-based hack and slashes, because Space Siege was awful. And Greed Black Border wasn't very good either. So, what else has there been? There's not that many. I've been looking for a space hack and slash for a really long time that actually has the RPG elements in it. Because I would say Shadowgrounds, but Shadowgrounds doesn't have the RPG elements in it. Shadowgrounds Survivor had a little bit, but I still wouldn't call it exactly the same thing. When it comes to this, though, obviously this is a very much a sci-fi inspired game. They have made a very distinct effort to actually have a storyline, and I like the fact that all of the models of the creatures are very weird.
Once the foundation of the singularity array, where for centuries, progenitors...
Okay, I've already had that. You don't need to give it to me twice. I don't know why it was triggered there, but hey. We're gonna go back to the portal over here. I was just seeing if I'd actually missed anything. When I play games like this, I am a little bit of a loot whore, so I like to look all over the place to see if I've missed a chest or an upgrade or something like that. Always a good idea. Oh, I wonder, if you swap out, will your other guy actually heal up? Is this like Marvel vs. Capcom? I have to wonder. Doesn't seem to, does it? Maybe after the cooldown goes, I don't know. Right, we'll go through here anyway. We'll use the crazy leafy dude. He's the ranged one of our group by the looks of it. I haven't tried this guy. What does he do? I'm kind of interested to know. Let's have a look at him. He's a bit of an ugly bastard, isn't he? But he does have a rather large sword made of light. Some kind of light saber. It kind of sounds like one as well. What's his ability? Cauterize. Goliath slams the ground with his sword. Shockwave. Right, okay. Slap. Thank you. And an item, a stone spike. Fantastic. Sweet. He seems pretty happy with that, and as am I. Let's switch back to our guy with the horns. There we go. Onward for great justice. There is no real complexity to this game that I'm seeing so far. Then again, are you looking for complexity within a hack and slash game? Because the very nature of hack and slash games means that they're not complex to begin with, you know? It's about killing a lot of dudes, collecting a lot of loot. That's what hack and slash means. That's what it's all about. I still don't know if I'm supposed to be blowing these up, and I'm going to do it anyway. This game is scratching all of those itches right now for me. The funny thing is, I was extremely cynical going into this game, and I do try and set aside any preconceptions I've got before I do these, but because I'm not a robot, that's pretty much impossible. You do it to as great a degree as you can, but it's difficult to completely wipe them all out. Okay, that's a status effect. We'll get rid of that. When I heard about Darkspore, I thought, what? What the hell's the point in that? And I'm actually noticing so far that this is way better than Spore was, because it's a much more tight-directed experience. And it takes what was good about Spore. The whole point of Spore was the whole customizability of it. Yeah? That was the strong point of Spore. The problem with Spore was the rest of it. It was a collection of 5 mini-games, and the game only really opened up in the 5th stage. And for most of the game, you were doing kind of pointless stuff with very little choice in it. You know, there were a couple of things you could do, but everything was very much dumbed down. I mean, the RTS section, for instance, was so basic. It really, really was. It was not a competent RTS at all in any respect. It was just a stepping stone to get to the space stage, and personally, I found the space stage to be very boring. So this, on the other hand, because it is so directed and because it's very obviously focused in a particular way, and they're not trying to muck about and pretend that there's something they're not, it feels good. And it plays well, and I'm really impressed with it so far. Let's continue through this mission, and then we'll see if we can get a little bit of co-op going, because I would be curious to notice how good it is with multiple people. I like the fact that you can sort of switch between your squad, although right now I'm finding, obviously on this level, that this guy is fine. There was no reason for me to be playing any other dude, unless I, for instance, get very low on health and then have to switch out. But health seems to drop at a reasonable enough rate to not have to really worry so much about that. Billy is quite satisfying as well. I'm noticing this. I don't know what this is all about. What are these? Locked catalysts. Okay, so that's something we're going to have to discover later on. So we'll keep playing for a while and try and figure out exactly what that is so I can give you as best an impression of this as possible. I don't know, these videos are always about you making a decision for yourself. You'll hear my opinion, but what I'm trying to do is present the content in as accurate a first impressions way as possible. So, really whether or not you like the look of this is up to you. It's the same with Rift, you know? Rift didn't inherently do anything bad. It's just, in my opinion, it did stuff that was so very, very similar to stuff that I'd already played that I wasn't interested. But maybe you wanted that. Maybe that's the kind of thing that you're after. So, no doubt that video will have helped you to make a decision as to whether or not you're interested in getting Rift. This is what I like to do with all of my WTF videos. I don't say that you should buy the game unless it's really amazing and you'd be dumb not to. Like, say, Magicka, for instance. It's like, you don't want Magicka. What, you dislike fun? Is that your problem here? I don't know what that is. Okay. Ah, he's slowing me down. Don't like that. There we go. Break out of that, thank you very much. Slashy, slashy. Right, man, you got to target this quite accurately, so when you're doing that, ride the lightning ability. It won't do any damage if it passes through something, only if you specifically target it. Ooh, a Geopsionic Pulverizer. Item level 11, yes. Okay, that's a green. We likes the greens. That's a lot of stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do to my creatures after we complete this particular level. Okay, right, this needs to be blown up immediately. That would be a efficient way of doing so. As you might notice, the music is very, very ambient, which I don't know, it's good for what it certainly serves its purpose, but, you know, I would be hoping for just, you know, a little bit of battle music, you know, let's get dramatic, let's not just have this, ooh, we're in space, it's floaty, it's wonderful, experience the miracles of all of these stellar entities. That's not the kind of thing that I'm looking for. I'm slashing my way through all of these dudes. I want some pumping music, yes, I need some drama in my violence. So, yeah, this would be the kind of thing I'd like to hear in the editor, not in the middle of a fight. Now, this level is fairly lengthy for a first level, but we should expect that. I have to wonder just how well the storyline ties together, because this is something that Diablo did quite well. It had these chapters and these areas, and the story continued through it. I assume that there is some kind of story in this game, considering it's repeatedly trying to reinforce the fact that this universe has something going on, and there were battles, and there were these guys going on.
Formed when a supermassive star collapsed, destroying its planets and releasing deadly cosmic rays affecting all nearby systems.
There you go. See, you know, a little bit more lore that's being put into that. I think perhaps it's kind of important for a game like this to establish some lore, because Spore had none, obviously, because you were sort of creating your own civilization, or trying to, anyway. So, to me, it makes sense. Ooh, are we getting some pumping music? A little bit. A little bit. Obviously, you can't hear a lot of it because it's going to be in the background, but this DNA, one assumes, is a currency for upgrades. That would be... Ooh, that's a new eye part, is it? Fantastic. I don't know how many of these are cosmetic and how many of them are actually upgrades. We'll find out. Playing with a green shooty dude at the minute, who looks like the most chill of the lot. Look at that. You know, he doesn't care about anything. He's got his little pets there. He's really happy about everything. Graphics-wise, it's quite nice as well. Gotta say, big fan of the way that it's done. Background images is what impresses me the most, because obviously, in comparison to a more traditional hack and slash, it can be very easy for a space-based one over Meteors to look really boring, but look at all that. You know, you see all that in the background right there. There's a lot of detail there. It's good. Like that. Ah, eat my evil tree of doom, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that's what you want, is what you need. Ow. Right, okay. If I switch out, will I still be affected by status? I don't think I am, actually. There you go. So, yeah, that's kind of neat. There we go. Go back to my Wolverine. Effectively what it is right there. I just wonder how much customization we can really get. Because the thing I liked about Spore is the ability to have things look like pretty much everything. I had a race of Murlocs. That was the most fun that I had in the game. I created a race of space Murlocs, and I gradually evolved them, things like that. But obviously these heroes start with a particular look to them, and you start off with no customizability at all. So I don't know, I'm okay with that maybe, because if you're going to go through the game and unlock it, and it's designed for multiple playthroughs, because you've got the multiple difficulty levels, which will obviously unlock better gear, you'll get your fat purples and your epics and all that good stuff, then I don't necessarily see the problem with that. Yes, thank you. Slashy, yeah, violence. It's so much blood. Yeah, problematic. It's okay, plenty of drops around. No potions as far as I can tell as of yet, but there might be later on in the game, we don't know. You know, it's really nice to be pleasantly surprised, because when you go into a game with really low expectations, and then it turns out that actually, in the beta, it's a really, really tight hack and slash with no visible problems. It's good. It's good, folks. It is good. Can you see? Can you see how good this is? Yeah, I certainly hope so. This is really promising. Really damn promising. I hope EA doesn't just let this rot and die. I mean, I've seen some advertising for it, but it doesn't look like it's going to be one of their AAA titles. They're not going to put a lot of marketing power behind it. Now, to me, this seems like a perfect PC game. PC had Diablo for the longest time. PC gamers love hack and slash. They bought Torchlight in abundance. They bought Diablo in abundance. Hell, they bought a lot of Titan Quest, even though it was a buggy piece of crap. But whatever the case, I like the fact that it is so obviously a PC title, and so obviously it plays well on a PC, even if it does have a console version, which I think it does. Okay, I assume this is the final area. We're gonna get a boss fight right here.
Additional abilities now online for all heroes.